found a little bit of an interface error and some unexpected behavior with FileMaker and thought it might be helpful to some of you as well. So I like to hide the status toolbar in my apps because I think it gives it a cleaner look, and I like to script all the record creation, deletion, finds, sorts, and do that through my own interface instead of what is up here in the toolbars. But when my users do finds, if they're not going to use a quick search that I built or some quick finds, then I want that toolbar to appear so that they get the ability to create complex searches and do omits and all of that without having to manually turn that on every time, which could get really annoying. So we can do that using the on mode enter script trigger for the layout. So what I've done is I've created a script here that in theory should work very simply. So if we go to on mode enter and do this original change script, and then I'm just going to turn preview off because we only really need it to go when we switch between browse and find mode. Alright, so in theory, what should happen now is when we go into find mode, we're going to come through here and we're going to show the toolbars. Otherwise, we're going to hide them. Really straightforward. I've added a little bit in here. What I'm doing is I'm getting all the window positioning information because at least on a Mac here, you'll notice that if you show the status toolbar, the window gets bigger. If you hide the status toolbar, it shrinks again. However, it does not shrink if you do that through a script. So if we were to get the window here and then hide the window, so just simply, hide the toolbar, simply a simple script here, it doesn't resize that window. But you'll notice we have this weird interface glitch happening here. We get this gray area. If we start to scroll, it goes away. Remember that for a second. So now we have this script on here so that if we go into find mode, we're just going to shrink this window down here. If we go into find mode, the window stays the same size. Great. Because what's happening is that script is being run and we're showing the toolbars. You can see the window gets bigger, but then we're putting it back to the way it was. Okay. But if we were to perform a finder, I'm just going to go back to browse mode. You're seeing we're getting this interface glitch. I've had it happen on different layouts in different ways. Sometimes it like obscures the header in the top nav area. Sometimes it's doing this down here. The only way to get rid of it is to scroll, but that's not an acceptable deliverable to my users. So I had to play around with this a little bit to figure out what needed to happen to avoid that being the end result. And so I have this little bit more complex script step here that's happening, and I've got a different layout. It's the same, just a copy of that layout. But let's look at the script triggers that are on this layout. We are actually running this script on both enter and exit. And on the exit, I'm actually passing an exit parameter. I'm only having that run on find mode. I'm going to turn this off on browse mode because you think we could actually only have this run when find mode is activated because that's the only time we really need things to happen. So when we enter find mode, we're going to hide the toolbars. When we exit find mode, we're going to hide the toolbars. So let's see what happens when we do that. So normal window, no toolbars are shown. When this script is run, what's going to happen is we would just get the, we would show the toolbars. I added a little logic in here so that if the status area, if the toolbars are already shown, we don't need to do anything, okay? And that way, so for some reason, if the user had turned the toolbars on and go into find mode, they're good. They're already good. And then when we exit, we're gonna hide the toolbars, and I'm just gonna exit the script out there. But you'll see this script is being run. Okay, we're doing this working script, and so when we go into find mode, we're showing the toolbars or resizing the window. Great. When we go back to browse mode, where it is what's happening is on the mode exit. When we're passing the exit parameter, we're just gonna hide the toolbars, and that way we're only hiding the toolbars when we are leaving find mode. But if we do this, look, we're still getting that interface glitch. Okay, so let's go back in here and turn on the on mode enter trigger for browse mode as well. And now watch. We go into find mode and go back to browse mode. Ta-da! That interface glitch isn't happening, because what's happening is when we go into find mode, I'm just going to run this through. When we go back to browse mode, first thing that's happening is we're leaving find mode, so we're going to hide the toolbars. Now you think, hey, look, that interface glitch isn't happening, and for some reason it doesn't happen with the script debugger on, which makes debugging really tricky. But what's happening also is that we're also running on mode enter when we go back to browse mode, entering browse mode. So all I'm doing is I'm just escaping out of this script step here, basically. And the interface is fine. But if we were to, again, turn that trigger off for browse mode, find, browse, we're getting that interface glitch. I don't know why. That's, to me, very unexpected behavior, and maybe someone at FileMaker can look at this and fix it, but that's what's happening. So by having that extra script just being run, when we go back into browse mode, it does something to re-render the layout and gets things into the as expected state. Hope someone else finds this helpful if this is an issue that's been plaguing you.